Hi, my name is Charles Cedric Sabertada, and I am one of your reporters for today.
Good day everyone, I'm Bianca Manalesay and
My name is Pauline J.C. Uliwa and
My name is Ray D. Villena.
I'm Marin Joy Carillia.
My name is John Edrian Manalo.
I'm Liza Cabusas and
I am Jumel F. Trabado
and my name is Angela L. Valerio and
hi everyone, my name is Ronaldo C. Ibarra Jr. and I am the leader of the Group 3.
And now let's move on Unit 7, the Campus Safety and Security that gonna be presented by Group 3. And first of all, we should know our lesson objectives. We should know how to differentiate safety from the security, explain how campus emergency management work, and how to specify the measures to ensure a campus security. And let's begin. What is security? Security refers to the protection of individuals, organization, and assets from external threats and illegal activities. Sa madaling salita, ang security daw is ito yung protection na naglalaban sa mga external threats or intentional threats o yung mga sadyang gawain na nagkakos ng harm. And ang safety naman is used to refer to the situation of being protected from situations that are likely to cause harm. In addition, the term safety can be used to refer to the state of which one has to control of the risk-causing situation and protecting oneself against risk that is fully unintended. Ang safety naman is ito yung mga protection mo na nagbumula sa mga unintentional threats. Example ko rito is yung pagkakakuryente o yung pagkakaroon ng sunog. What is the difference between safety and security? The feeling of being safe is emotional, while security is more on physical. And ang security and safety kasi is connected sila. Kasi kung wala kang proper security or enough security or sufficient security, you will never feel safe. So, ang safe is our emotion. And security naman is ito yung physical that will make our emotional feel safe. And for example is, in school, the school walls o yung bakod sa school, and security workforce o yung mga guards, they were the one who protects the perimeter of the school area, assets, and even school personnel, therefore shielding against any external threats. And security is the protection against international threat, while safety is the aspect of being secure against unintentional threats. Ang example ko naman dito is yung nangyayaring rally ngayon sa Manila. Ang security dito is, ang trabaho ng mga police is to give protection sa institution and sa mga citizens na maiwasan yung pagkasira at pagkasakit sa kapwa. And ang safety naman dito is, yung mga police, pipigilan yung mga relista, pero may naglalayong protektahan sila o magiging safe sila sa pagpigil sa kanila. In short, ang security is, ito yung protection na nagmumula sa mga intentional threats or external threats o yung mga sinasadyang ginagawa para magdulot ng harm. And ang safety naman is ito yung protection mo na nagmumula naman sa mga unintentional threats. And now let's focus on national security as stated in the Philippine Constitution.
So let's proceed to national security as stated in the Philippines Constitution. For the first paragraph, sinasabi dito is ang security daw is a global issue, and papasok dito yung police and military to ensure the safety and security of the citizens. Also, the government protects the country against the external threats. For example, may ship or airplane that illegally entering the Philippine territory, so the Philippine Navy or Air Force will immediately patrol to defend our sovereignty. According to the constitutions, yung main duty daw ng government is to serve and protect the citizen Citizens could also be asked to serve like the military or police when the country needs it. And for example, if there's like a war or a big threat, they might implement mandatory military service kung saan some citizens are called to help defend the country. And for the third paragraph, for my explanation, like yung constitution daw, in-emphasize niya ang peace, order, and protection of life, property as super important. Kasi if there no security, walang real safety. Sa isang safe country, yung lives ng citizens nagiging more organized if have security to prevent that peace, order, protection, life like that. So for the next slide, Campus Safety and Security Act. So yung Campus Safety daw and its Security Act is law like the PPT, and to ensure the safety inside the school para magkaroon ng safe learning environment. And for example, yung mga school and universities is naglalagay sila ng CCTV and security guards to protect the crime, protect student, and protect all of the members of the university. Third part is Philippine Campus Safety and Security Act. So, the Philippine Campus Safety and Security Act is nire-required ang mga colleges, universities, and technical school to make sure the safe and secure ang buong academic community. And kasama dito ang pagbuo ng like that, yung sinabi sa PPT, pagbuo ng crime prevention community or anumang banta sa loob ng campus. For example, ang isang university is nagtayo ng, let's say, nagtayo ng campus safety committee na binubuo ng mga grupo. And grupo, estudyante, guro, security, and officers. So, sila ang mag-organize o mag-seminar ng mga like mga anti-bullying, mag-install ng mga CCTVs, mag-monitor ng possibilities threats, para siguraduhin ligtas ang lahat na nasa loob ng university na yun.
Good day everyone, I'm Bianca Manalaysay, and let's proceed to what are included in the Campus Safety and Security Act that can guarantee a safe and secure environment for students. Included in this mandate is the state's responsibility to ensure a safe and secure environment for students to pursue their studies within these institutions without any fear for their physical well-being. Other sections found in this mandate are Section 4, Safe and Security Services. Schools must provide safe, accessible, and secure facilities that meet government standards, with licensed security personnel ensuring the protection of the academic community and their belongings. They should also establish a system for students to actively participate in crime prevention and campus safety. Schools are required to provide safe and secure facilities na pasado daw sa government standards. Kailangan may license yung mga security guards para maprotektahan yung mga students, teachers, at belongings nila. Dapat din may system kung saan yung mga students ay nagpa-participate sa crime prevention programs. Example is schools having crime prevention programs, cameras, ID systems, and student patrol volunteers to report suspicious activities. Number 2 is Section 5, Creation of a Crime Prevention Committee. Each school must establish a Crime Prevention Committee or CPC to create policies and strategies for safety and security. This committee will protect the academic community from threats like theft, robbery, rape, and other forms of violence inside and outside campus. CPC their job is to make policies and strategies to keep everyone safe. Pinoprotektahan nila yung mga students from crimes like theft, robbery, rape, at iba pang violence na pwedeng mangyari sa loob at labas ng campus. Kaya, lahat dapat ng school ay may CPC. Example na lang po is, a CPC might organize seminars on anti-bullying or create stricter ID checks na para walang mga outsiders na makapasok. Ano nga ba yung mga types ng crimes on college campuses? Number 1 is alcohol crimes. Some students drink alcohol kahit bawal sa loob ng campus. Minsan, nagiging kosto ng gulo, ng accidents, or hindi sila nakakapag-focus sa loob ng klase. Example is, student is caught drinking inside the dorm or attending class under the influence of alcohol. Number 2 naman is theft. Laptops, smartphones, and wallets, yung mga common na nananakaw. Since yung mga students laging nagdadala ng gadgets everyday, madalas silang nawawalan kapag hindi nag-iingat. Example na lang is, kunwari nakicharge sa loob ng library and bigla lang nawala, or nahahayaan din na naiiwan yung bag sa kung saan like quadrangles or classrooms na open. Number 3 naman is assault. This happens when students physically hurt one another, either dahil sa away or under the influence ng alcohol or drugs. Example is students nagsuntukan after magkaroon ng heat during basketball game. Number 4 is crime of a sexual nature such as rape or stalking. Very serious po yung mga ganitong types ng crime. It can happen inside dorms, dark hallways, or even online through stalking. Nangyayari din to kunyari kapag kakalabas mo lang ng campus ng gabing-gabi. Example na lang is a female student being harassed while walking alone at night near the campus. Number 5 is crimes associated with hazing. Hazing is connected sa mga fraternities or organization, pero mostly po is sa mga fraternities lang. It involves physical or emotional abuse para lang makapasok yung isang student dun sa group. Example na lang is a student being forced to undergo painful initiation rituals. Number 6 is drug crimes possession. Possession, use, or selling of drugs is also common in some campus. This is very dangerous po kasi it can ruin lives and futures. Example na lang is a student caught distributing illegal drugs during a school event or kapag yung wala na masyadong tao sa campus. And lastly po is harassment or bullying. This includes both face-to-face and cyberbullying. Nakaka-epekto to sa mental health and safety ng isang student. And example is a student being mocked online through group chats or na humiliate po siya.
Crime prevention tips. So first is personality safety. So sa madaling salita, sarili nating kaligtasan. So first is kapag lalabas po tayo ng bahay, ugaliin natin na maging alerto and maging handa sa ating dadaanan at higit sa lahat, mag-ingat tayo sa ating pupuntahan and maging aware po tayo sa ating paligid. And number 2 is kapag lalabas po tayo ng gabi or madaling araw, dapat magdala po tayo ng kasama. Kasi alam natin kapag madaling araw at gabi ay napakadelikado po na lumabas dyan. Kaya po magdala po tayo ng ating kasama para sa ating kaligtasan and matulungan tayo kung sakaling mayroong umatake sa atin or sumusunod na kahinahina ng tao like kriminal para sa ating kaligtasan. And number 3 is kapag lalabas po tayo and may pupuntahan tayo, dumaan tayo sa mga safety na lugar kung saan makakahingi tayo ng tulong And maraming tao na nakapaligid para sa ating kaligtasan. Huwag po tayong dumaan kung alam natin na delikado yung daanan and hindi natin sure na safety tayo doon. Kaya dumaan tayo kung saan na mas ligtas tayo at makakahingi ng tulong. And number 4 is kung sakaling may sumusunod sa atin na kahinalang tao, dapat na natin iwasan or gumawa ng paraan kung saan tayo makakahingi ng tulong. And number 5 is yun na nga, tatakbo na tayo or gagawa tayo ng paraan na tayo makakatakbo and makakahingi ng tulong and gagawa tayo ng paraan kung saan na makakahingi tayo ng tulong katulad na lang ng police station or barangay kung saan direction tayo na doon na makakahingi ng tulong. And number 6 is kapag mayroon sa ating hinahinalang sumusunod na kotse or van na hindi natin alam kung bakit sumusunod and kahinalang hindi natin kilala yung kotse na yon and nag-alok sa atin na sumakay sa atin, dapat po nating iwasan yan and lumayo doon dahil para ma-prevent natin na hindi tayo makauwi or sakaling kidnapping yung nangyayari, dapat lumayo na tayo and tumakbo na tayo kung saan makakahingi tayo ng tulong para sa ating kaligtasan na rin. And number 7, yun na kapag nakauwi na tayo ng bahay and matutulog na tayo, i-make sure natin na nakasara yung mga pintuan and yung bintana para sa ating kaligtasan na ma-prevent natin yung nakawan. And para sa ating kaligtasan na rin na hindi tayo na mapasukan ng tao na hindi natin kilala para sa ating kaligtasan. And number 8, kapag matutulog na tayo and ramdam na natin na matutulog na tayo, dapat nating tandaan na maging alerto tayo sa ating paligid or meaning na maging instinct tayo sa ating paligid kahit natulog tayo o makiramdam sa ating piligiran para sa ating kaligtasan na maging handa tayo. And number 9, yun na kapag may nakapasok na kahinalang tao and naramdaman natin yun, gumawa tayo ng paraan or ingay na makakahingi tayo ng tulong sa kapitbahay. And lastly, number 10, kapag na may nakapasok sa atin and nakahinalang tao na nakapasok, pag gumawa tayo ng ingay na narinig ng tao na yun na kahinalang tao or isang criminal na nakapasok sa bahay natin, gumawa tayo ng paraan or strategy na ma-attract yung tao na hindi natin kilala na isang mamamatay tao man siya or magnanakaw. Gumawa tayo ng ingay na ma-attract siya doon at pupuntahan niya yun na alam natin kung saan tayo magtatago na makatakbo para sa ating kaligtasan na makahingi ng tulong man sa pulis or sa ibang tao para mahuli yung magnanakaw. Depende po yan sa strategy nyo na kung paano kayo na makakatakas. So next, proceed to tip prevention. So ito yung pag-iwas sa nakawan. So number 1 dyan is kung sakaling lalabas tayo ng bahay and pupunta tayo sa public space, for example is punta tayo sa pasyalan katulad na forest or palengke, kung bibili tayo pagkain or mga pangangailangan na needs natin, and iwasan natin na magdala ng gamit or mamahaling gamit na sinusuot natin sa ating katawan katulad ng kwintas or kaya singsing na mamahalin. Dapat natin po iwasan na maglabas ng ganyan and itago na lang and keep natin na kung saan mas safety yung gamit natin or kaya yung pera para maiwasan yung nakawan. And number 2 is kung sakaling kakain man tayo kung saan, sa fast food or restaurant, or it's either na bibili, iwasan natin na maglagay kung saan yung gamit natin, or iwasan natin na maglagay ng bagay na importante sa atin kung saan na walang bantay, para ma-prevent natin or maiwasan yung manakawan tayo. And lastly, kung isang tao na malilimutin or makakalimutin na kung di mo alam kung saan mo na ilalagay yung mga gamit mo, gumawa ka ng paraan na listahan or record na ilista mo kung saan mo nilagay yung mga gamit mo, or it's either na bumili ka ng mga pagkain or gamit na na need mo na gamitin or pangangailangan mo. Yun na nga, kapag nakabili mo na yung bagay na yun, and yung bagay na bili mo, and doon mo nilagay sa isang tabi, and kung sakaling makalimutan mo, meron tayong listahan na mapuprovide or maiisip natin na nailista natin kung saan natin nailagay, and sa sakaling wala or makalimutan natin, alam natin kung saan natin nailagay. So lastly, number 3, general tips. So number 1 na tips is, so ito usong-uso ito sa high school and elementary, yung bullying. So example ko dyan, kapag may nakita tayong estudyante na binubully, syempre tulungan natin siya na may report sa teacher, even man sa guidance office, para matulungan yung binubully. And number 2 is ito naman is fire alarm. So kapag narinig natin yung fire alarm and may naramdaman tayo na lindol or earthquake na nangyari, and even nasunog, and narinig natin yung fire alarm na nag-alarm, make sure natin na lumabas na tayo and mag-evacuate na tayo sa ating kinakatayuan. Pumunta tayo kung saang lugar na mas safety tayo. And number 3 is ito, example lang to, kapag mayroon nag-aalok sa'yo na sumakay and may kahinahinalang kotse na sumusunod sa'yo, syempre gumawa ka na ng paraan or umiwas doon or tumakbo kung saan ka makakahingi ng tulong para sa kaligtasan natin. And lastly, kung sa lahat ng bagay na lalabas tayo, kung saan man tayo pupunta, kung saan lupalop, and huwag tayo makampante na safety tayo. Dapat maging alerto tayo sa lahat ng bagay and sa paligid na pinupuntahan natin. Mag-ingat lagi tayo.
Congratulations na tumabot ka sa punto ng video na to. Dahil marami sa mga kablak natin is hindi pa panoorin to. Dahil dyan, bibigyan ko kayo ng premyo. Kung masasagot nyo itong tanong ko. Kung ang justice system ay mabilis para sa mga mahihirap na magnanakaw at mabagal naman para sa mga korap na mayayaman o mga public officials, masasabi pa ba nating patas ang ating batas? And ang mga sagot ninyo ay pwede nyo ilagay sa ating comment section and bibigyan namin kayo ng premyo. And good luck!
And now, let's move on serious threats in school that needs proper attention.
So first is bomb threats. Bomb threats is when someone says or warns na merong bomba raw sa school. Pwedeng sa tawag, text, or kahit suspicious na bagay. Example, may tumawag sa office at nagsabi na may bomba raw sa library, kahit prank lang pala. Lahat ng teachers, student ay kailangan bumaba at pumunta sa evacuation center hanggang sa masabi ng authorities na safe na. So second is terrorism, a violent act na pwede rin magdulot ng panic, injuries, or damage. Kaya schools also need to have an emergency terrorism plan. So third is fire emergency. Fires can start small but spread very fast. Kung maliit lang ang apoy, pwedeng patayin gamit ang fire extinguishers. Pero kung malaki na, dapat tumawag agad sa fire department. During the evacuation, close the doors pero huwag ilak para hindi kumalat ang apoy. Use the stairs, not the elevator if trapped. Stay low to avoid smoke at isignal ang rescuer gamit ang clothes or paper sa window.
And let's go to the typhoon and flood. Typhoons are detected and issued warnings, leading to school cancellations. When planning ahead can reduce the panic and increase safety during these storms. The university in the Philippines implement the preventive maintenance to reduce the risk of typhoons and floods, including the improving their drainage systems, cleaning waterways, trimming trees, and checking electrical systems, and it advises residents to stay informed about pag-asa storm warnings and take shelter, avoid walking in floodwater, and seek medical attention to open wounds. Sinasabi dito na kapag ang pag-asa ay may na-forecast na typhoon, nagdudulot ito ng panganib, nagka-cancel ang authority sa school ng cancellation of classes. And ang Pilipinas is nag-implement ng mga way how to prevent the floods in the Philippines, which is to improve the drainage systems and waterways. Pero dahil nga sa nagaganap ngayon na kasalukuyan, tayo ay nakakaranas ng kalunos-lunos na baha dahil sa mga flood project na ghost project na hindi naman talaga natuloy. So, nagkaroon tayo dito ng nag-cause sila ng harm and nawalan tayo ng proper security and safety.
Earthquake can strike without warning, making precautionary measures crucial. PHIVOLCS provides information about earthquakes, but no predictions or warning system exists. Also, planning and preparation are crucial for students and staff safety during earthquakes. We all know naman po na earthquake is super scary and wala po siyang way para ma-predict ito. Since wala po siyang paraan para malaman kung kailan darating yung earthquake, ang best thing po na magagawa natin is maging ready. Mas maganda po na meron tayong mga battery-powered radio handy and super need po siya sa schools or bahay, offices, and kahit saang lugar po. Para po mas, kunwari, pag nawala ng kuryente, at least meron tayong makukuhang information and updates kung ano yung nangyayari sa paligid. And also, before earthquake, kailangan po nating alamin kung saan tayo pupunta kapag tapos na ng earthquake. Dapat po alam natin kung saan lugar yung mas safe. Before earthquake, secure furniture and materials in rooms or offices. Avoid placing heavy objects on shelves, and be familiar with evacuation areas, exit routes, and take cover areas for new occupants during severe shaking. Before earthquake, iwasan po natin maglagay ng mga mabibigat na bagay sa mga matataas na lugar para po ma-prevent natin yung mga paglaglag nito habang nagkakaroon ng earthquake and para hindi rin po tayo malaglagan. Yung pag natapos na po yung earthquake, dapat alam po natin kung saan tayo pupunta o saan mas safe na lugar. Tulad lang ng mga evacuation center, ganyan po.
During an earthquake, protect your head and neck. Stay under cover and do not run until the shaking stops. Watch out for the falling objects and stay away from the windows, hanging items, and tall furniture. If outside, go to the open area away from the building, trees, and power lines. After the earthquake, pagkatapos ng yanig, evacuate sa designated assembly area para iwasan ang delikadong lugar at mga taong posibleng matap. Iwanang unlock ang doors at report agad kung may injured sa incident, commander or person in charge. Manatili muna sa campus hanggat walang instruction na pwedeng umalis dahil baka damage ang mga kalsada. Kung ikaw ay matrap, stay calm, basta huwag sigaw ng sigaw. Sigaw lang talaga kung kailangan. Mas mabuti kung gagamit ka ng flashlight o whistle para marinig at makita ka agad ng mga rescuers.
Upon learning what to do before, during, and after an earthquake, I'll be sharing some things to you. My name is Ray Diveriana, and I'm here to share 2 things to remember. Tip number 1, always hold earthquake drills. This is necessary to ensure an immediate and proper response whenever earthquake strikes. Hindi na siya sa loob ng school, pwede din siya sa loob ng bahay. Pwede mong aralin sa isip mo yung mga posible mong gawin kapag tumama ang lindol. For example, kagaya sa school, dapat alam mo sa bahay kung saan ka magtatago, kung saan ka lalabas, at pinaka-importante sa lahat, alam mo kung saan ang evacuation center sa inyong komunidad. Tip number 2, make sure na familiar ka sa mga safety procedures. Kagaya na lamang ng paglayo sa mga bagay na maaaring matumba, pag-employ ng duck, coven, hole during an earthquake, at ang pinaka-importante sa lahat, dapat alam mo kung saan ang evacuation center. Moving on our next topic, creation of Campus Emergency Response Team. Campus Emergency Response Team is developed to assist during a disaster or other emergency in the campus. It aims to prevent the loss of life and property by preparing for, responding to, and recovering from considerably challenging events that will negatively impact the well-being of students, teachers, and staff, and or the other continuity of operations. They are also responsible for responding the 4 phases of emergency preparedness. First one is prevention and or mitigation. Prevention means the capabilities necessary to avoid or prevent a threatened or actual incident from happening. And for the next one, mitigation. It means that they are the capabilities necessary to reduce or eliminate the loss of life or property damage by lessening the impact of an event or an emergency that occurred. And for the next one, preparedness. These are the capabilities necessary to stabilize an emergency once it has already happened or is certain to happen in an unpreventable way. It is important to establish a safe and secure environment, save lives and property, and facilitate a transition to recovery. And for the last one, recovery. Recovery means the capabilities necessary to assist the schools affected by an event or an emergency in restoring the environment. Recovery is also defined as the actions taken to return the place into normal after a disaster. So always remember the 4 phases of emergency preparedness. The first one is prevention, the second one is mitigation, the third one is preparedness, and lastly, recovery.
Now, who are the members of the Campus Emergency Response Team? But first, ano nga ba yung Campus Emergency Response Team? Ang Campus Emergency Response Team, sila yung mga first respondents, sila yung mga tumutulong tuwing merong emergency na nangyayari sa loob ng school. Sa loob ng school, yes, sa loob ng campus. And sila yung assess and sila yung nagme-maintain ng kaayusan even though may emergency. At sila din yung mga tumutulong sa mga naapektuhan ng emergencies na nangyari. Like for example, sunog, earthquakes, or anything na incident. And according to this, we have a four types of emergency response team in the campus. The first is the IMT, or Incident Management Team. Sila yung pinaka main response team. Sa kanila nanggagaling yung utos na kung ano ang gagawin. Sila yung parang kung merong chart, meron niyang chart parang sila yung pinaka nandoon sa taas. At sila yung gumagamit sa incident ICE, Incident Command System. Sila yung nag-uutos sa Incident Command System. Sila yung gumagamit sa Incident Command System para utusan, iutos or mag-lead kung ano yung gagawin ng mga nasa under nila tuwing merong emergency. Yes. There are 3 positions under the Emergency Command System. PIO, or the Public Information Officer. The second is the Safety Officers. And the third is the liaison. And we also have team into 4 sections. Meron ditong Administration and Finance, the Logistics, the Operational, or Operations, and the Planning and Intelligence. May kanya-kanyang role po yun sila para ma-manage yung emergencies. At pinapaandar po sila ni IMT. Kay IMT po nanggagaling lahat ng mga utos mula sa ICT or Incident Command Team. Second is the Damage Assessment Team, or the DAT. the damage assessment team or that is the responsible for the aftermath of the incident. Halimbawa, for may collision, dahil sa halimbawa, ang this incident is nagkaroon ng earthquake, sila po yung responsible para mag-remove at magbuhat ng mga heavy debris. And nasa kanila din po naka-assign yung search and rescue operations ng mga and the medical treatment ng mga naapektuhan ng mga students and our staff. So, sa kanila po lahat nakaatang yun. Sila po yung may sakop nun. And sila din po yung magme-maintain sa loob ng campus ng sila yung utility, parang utility. Sila yung magtitingin kung meron bang leakage ng gas sa mga kantin. And kung meron man pong leakage, sila ang mag-aayos po nun. At nasa kanila po parang sila po talaga yung may hawak sa safety ng campus. Sila po yung taga-maintain ng kaayusan ng campus. And search and rescue nga po. Search and rescue sa kanila. And that's all for the data. And always remember that the IMT, sila po yung, or the incident management team, sila po yung pinaka-main. Sila yung pinaka-main response team. Sa kanila nanggagaling yung utos po para mapagalaw nila yung incident command team at ipasa yung mga utos na yun under their lower staff. Like for example, gaya nga po ng sinabi ko sa inyo na para ipasa sa PIO, safety officer, and the liaison. And that's all for my report. And I will pass this report to the next reporter, Pauline, to discuss last two components of the emergency response team.
Number 3, medical team. The medical team may assist those in need of minor medical treatment during an emergency in the event local emergency personnel are delayed. So, yung medical team, sila yung responsable sa pagbibigay ng unang lunas kapag may emergency sa campus, lalo na kung delayed ang pagdating ng mga professional emergency personnel. Tapos, duties of the med team during an emergency may include, first bullet, conduct and record initial medical assessment. So, sila muna yung nag-check kung sino yung may sugat, kaano kalala, at anong kailangan gamutin agad. Second bullet, administer first aid and medical treatment. Sila yung nagbibigay din ng first aid at minor medical treatment, kagaya ng paglilinis ng sugat, pagbibigay ng bandage, o pag-stabilize ng pasyente habang hinihintay yung mga medical responders. Third bullet, conduct rapid assessment, triage. Sila naman yung nag-organize kung sino yung dapat maunang gamutin based sa severity ng injury. Fourth bullet, set up and manage treatment areas. Sila naman yung naglalagay ng temporary area kung saan gagamutin yung mga nangangailangan agad ng medical treatment. Tapos, fifth bullet, maintain records of treatment. Siyempre, sila kailangan i-record lahat ng klase ng treatment na ginagawa sa pasyente in case na kailanganin para sa proper documentation. Number 4, communication and radio disaster team. The CARD team is part of the emergency communication system. This team may use handheld and amateur radios to provide communication when regular services such as telephone or cell phone are out. So, yung CARD team naman ay para sa communication system tuwing may emergency dahil minsan nawawala ang signal o cellphone o landline. Sila yung nag-aasikaso ng alternative communication gamit ang handheld o amateur radios. Duties of the CARD team during an emergency may include, first bullet, establishing communication for emergency response teams using handheld radios or runners. Gamit ang radios or runners, kapag runners, yun yung taong nagdadala ng mensahe kung walang device. Yun. Tapos, second bullet, obtaining communication updates. Sila naman yung nag-iipon ng latest info tungkol sa situation. Third bullet, verifying and disseminating emergency information received from other teams and communication devices. Sila yung mag-verify at nagbibigay ng tamang impormasyon. Chine-check muna nila kung tama ang impormasyon bago ipasa sa ibang teams para iwas fake news and iwas na rin sa pagpapanik ng iba. And fourth bullet, assisting CERT and other emergency responders with communication. Tumutulong sa CERT at emergency responders sa communication. Halimbawa, kung may kailangan iparating agad mula sa field papunta sa management, sila ang nagko-coordinate nun.
At dyan nagtatapos ang aming reporting and outro. Pasok! Bye-bye! Thank you for watching.
And bye.
Bye-bye!
Bye-bye po.
Bye-bye!
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 Thank you.